Cruise folk are the coolest. I was trying to tell them. Like, so we go on these. No, I haven't done one in over a year, I think. But we went on these long cruises. Like the most recent one went from California to Hawaii to Mexico to California. Right. We did another one that went like around the Mediterranean, then to Florida, like across the Atlantic Ocean. And everyone on that cruise, like, did something in life to enable them to take like a 3-week cruise. Like it's both expensive and time consuming. And I would just sit there and talk to like the water filter king of West Virginia and learn about his business and what made him tick. Or some other guy, this Australian, who's like, you got to get passive income, as if it's that easy. I own all these shopping malls and grocery stores and stuff. He's like, I don't work at all. I just make a lot of money. Do that. Oh, okay. It sounds like a plan. And, of course, there's Dick, the telephone book guy who I've talked about in some of my videos before. It like cruise folk, not the week-long like loops around Florida, have all sorts of people, but the long cruises, the 3-week-long ones, it's like an investment seminar and a life coaching session and stuff. And I'm just sitting there in the hot tub, which sounds really gay, but like, talking to strangers about how the hell they got into a hot tub in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And it's cool. It's inspiring.
My wife and I went on a cruise a couple years back. It was one of the 1-week Mexican cruises, and you're right. Like you meet some really interesting people on those, especially at dinner time. Because you sit next to the same people every time. Some of these people, you're like, okay, you're cool, and sometimes you're like, you're kind of weird. You're weird. And no, I want to go back on another cruise, but of course we went on our cruise, and as soon as we get back is when all that shit with Carnival started happening. So then it was like
sickness stuff.
Yeah, the sickness stuff. The 2 of the boats catching fire and having no power, and they were like being towed back, and it took like 8 days with no power, no water. It sounds terrible. Yeah, from the stories of people who came off those boats, they said it's just the whole boat smelled like shit. And
that's the thing. Like no water. They've got tons of water and stuff. That you can drink, but the toilets aren't flushing.
Right.
That's not
so the
good.
whole boat
shit overboard.
I would imagine you could.
On the ships
Everybody
I've been on,
en
it's
masse,
really
there's the 2
dangerous.
p.m. shit.
I just feel bad for the people on the lower decks trying to hang
You're
their
on the
ass
second
off.
floor. You're screwed.
Well, that's
You
a
hate-
simple.
I think everyone would find their own
55
way.
shit on
I'd just be
top.
like, well, I've been shitting into the pool filter for a week. No one noticed.
The one where we went from California to Hawaii and Mexico and stuff. The Pacific Ocean is rough. The old like World War II movies like Victory at Sea, where these giant ships go. That's what it was like. Like of course, I get seasick, but I drove myself out of the bed just to feel like 50-mile-an-hour ocean wind, and the spray hits you, even though you're like 5 decks above sea level. And the hurricane thing where like you lean super far forward, like into the wind. Like I'm doing that on the deck of a ship in the water. It was a neat experience. Like,
Have you been on a lot of cruises?
No, maybe like 10.
Okay, so like
That seems like a lot.
I don't know.
So the best rooms are in the midship.
Yeah.
In the
That's
rear,
all we
you got
do.
the engines, and my first cruise, I was like, oh wow, this room is great rate. What could possibly be wrong with it? It wasn't until the next morning when we were making dock when I realized we were like 14 feet from the fucking anchor room. So we wake up like 4:30 in the morning, just It sounded like a war was like happening. I was like still half drunk from the night before. And my wife says I sit straight up in bed like a zombie, and I go, "What the fuck is happening?" I start screaming at the top of my lungs, and I look at because of the TV, and you could look at the outer cameras of the boat on the TV.
Right.
And I look, and we're like at port, making port in Mexico. I'm like, oh my god! Every morning there on out, where we hit port somewhere, which are like 4 stops, was some sort of waking up to this massive chain thing going on. So I learned at that point, okay, now I know why the front of the ship has some amazing rates on rooms.
No, we actually get the bottom center rooms. They're less expensive, but the way the boat moves, like on its fulcrum, they move the least. So they
Yep, and the rooms that are right next to the elevators are usually cheap too, because they're the noisiest rooms to be at.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we like to be like just a few in off that. And also it's in the Disney ship anyway. In the bottom center was where Hope's age group like hung out for a while. So it was we were just more comfortable knowing they were like 50 feet away as opposed to like 6 decks away.
Did you think that the Disney cruise was worth it? Because I'm thinking about taking the family.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like the Disney cruise is geared towards kids, so
Right.
like they're just fully designed to babysit your kids for you and to give you guys a break.
Because my daughter turns 6 tomorrow, and she's a 6, and she's a Disney fanatic.
At 6 years
she's
old, they literally
Disney
have
blood.
like so in the areas that they play, they'll like go from like a little playground to like something else, and they have secret tunnels to take them from one spot to another, so they don't
wow.
mix in with the strangers, and it
Wow.
helps them keep the group together and stuff. Like
And Disney's like hiding kids away, so they're like out of sight, out of mind.
No, it's not about that. It's about making sure it's easy to keep the group together. You know, you
So
never drop
they're
a
not out
kid.
mixing in with the other walkways, so they can't get lost or I gotcha.
Plus, it's cool. You know,
Yeah.
and actually, like all big sections of the secret tunnel have glass sides and stuff, so you can see everyone else, but the group doesn't get split up.
That's
so,
cool. I hear they have a kind of a baby program too there.
yeah, they call it there's a term for it, like I forget, some Disney-eyed term, but yeah, they literally will watch your like 1 day old for you too.
Wow, that doesn't seem safe.
I made the
No,
one
it
day
does
up,
not.
but it's pretty young. Like you
I
can
just
drop
gave
your
birth
1
on
month
this
old there. Like a month. I'm sure they take your month old and
Well,
handle it.
By the time we go, my youngest will be about 1.5 years.
I can just see like
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse bottle feeding an infant while you like get drunk in a hot tub.
Mickey Mouse breastfeeding an infant.
Yeah,
No,
with
yeah,
lots
they're
of
literally
teats.
they're designed to handle your 1.5-year-old, and your 6-year-old will be put in here with peer group, and they'll be playing video games and making friends and stuff like
Put her
that.
next to each for all I care. I need a vacation.
Dude, I've talked about it on the show before, but there's a Disney commercial where they literally like advertise how parents have sex. Let me see if I can find it.
Is it showing like kids go watch a movie?
Is it like
And then
that
the
clip that
parents
Kyle
go-
sent us?
No, Kyle's clip was a bit more raucous.
No,
I'm so proud that they are the first $500 backer for the Chris Hansen Kickstarter
Yeah.
program.
Kyle's clip was educational, is what it was.
You know, for 500 more, we could have gotten a producer credit.
Oh, son of a bitch. We missed out.
What if it was hashtag RSK?
Yeah. Just a wildly inappropriate
Might have
thing
been
to have
worth it.
You guys should ask him something like, "So, how would a predator go about not getting caught?"
Yeah.
Very serious, taking notes, pen and paper, the whole deal.
Yeah.
Someone like you out there really shutting the child predators down. How do you get laid in this day and age? Like how does a guy like me make it happen out there?
All right, can we watch this commercial together? It's only 30 seconds.
Let's see here. I am queued at 0.
All right, ready, set, play.
We went on a Disney cruise with Mickey and Goofy. I had my own club and my mom had a mud bath with Daddy.
The ship had a great spa. It's not funny.
And guess what? At the island, Captain Hook was there.
You just get back?
That was a year ago.
That's my baby brother. His name is Joe, but Mom calls him a little souvenir.
Obviously, we all had a great time.
Disney Cruise Line.
All right.
Obviously, we all had a great time.
kid.
Loudmouth child.
We went on a
Oh,
Disney
I
cruise.
hit it twice. But yeah, so that's, and I swear they're like designed to get you laid on the ship. It's like part of their thing. They will watch your kids for you and you can get another souvenir if you want one.
Oh, great. Second thought.
I might not make it.
You gonna fail on us, Kyle? You gonna drop? Poor Kyle, roughing it through.
You can forge ahead. I believe in you. You're professional. A professional Russian.